Okay, I suppose just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, let's wait for someone who would like to join us.
I suppose that people are ready to share something interesting.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay, and I will send
The
the
most
link.
important, we are ready. Yeah.
Yeah, we are ready for Thursday.
Yeah,
At
absolutely.
Okay, just 1, 2 minutes. Maybe someone else will join us. Because actually today we've got not a lot of good news because it seems to me that the participants of the marathon seems to be so scary, so frightened to take part in these online interviews, despite the fact that having possibility to do it, it's so important. Yeah, sure, you can have a lot of interesting tips, you can read a lot of interesting articles. Sure, you've got a lot of useful material on LinkedIn, Telegram channels and groups. Still, Ludmila, what do you think? Is it useful just to try your hand on passing the interview? Or maybe it's better like to read one more book, to wait for something?
Yeah, actually, as every skill, it's require to practice a lot, and you should consider participating and taking interviews as a one of the skill. So it's also we can call it a talent from the one hand. From the other hand, is a typical skill you can work on and you can improve. And when we are talking about the skills, so the best way to make it stronger is to practice this. No more ways to improve it. Just practice and practice. So uh, today we will talk a lot about interviews, and we will provide you a lot of advice on this topic. So my first recommendation for you is to practice and to be active and use every opportunity to practice, to participate in some activities and so on, because this is really helpful. And we try to make it useful for you, but this like two parts, yeah? We can give
Actually,
and you can take.
yeah, actually, I remember that before taking a real interview, I asked my close friend to interview me. We've got like Skype session, and she's like a manager. She's hiring people, and she asked me all the questions like, "Okay, tell me about yourself." And actually, at this moment, when someone is looking for you, when you like afraid of getting the feedback or something like that, you are trying to focus on something, to talk to her. Also, I had an like opportunity to try my hand on explaining things. For example, I'm pretty sure that I know what is primary and what is foreign key, but when I was asked, oh my god, I understand it, but how to put it in clear words to show that I know it, I actually know it. Also, sometimes making practical tasks is pretty different, like during the interview. And when you're doing your test tasks for Friday evening or something like that,
At home
and
on a
yeah,
cozy atmosphere. Yeah.
yeah, you can go to the balcony to have some fresh air, to think about it. like to write down something, to delete it, and to write down it again. Yeah. During the online interviews, you haven't got such a possibility. Yeah. So when I was asked, I remember, to provide a simple SQL query, yeah, I wasn't able to do it. Yeah, I know the syntax. So what's wrong with me? Actually, I was so nervous, and
Yeah.
still it's like it's a skill. Yeah, you're right. So you should practice to understand your gaps, to understand what can be improved, to understand, like, to feel the topics that you are really weak in right now, so these topics can, like, need your approval. Also, I just being getting ready using some questions, I was surprised that there are much more interesting questions that you can be asked about. So
Yeah,
I remember that actual interview seems to me easier than this, like, preparational
preparation.
interview, because I was ready. Some questions were like the same during this interview and actual interview.
Yeah, and for this repetition, you even shouldn't have like a real tester or someone. You can use any your friend or any person who would like
Yeah,
to hear you.
it cannot be even like a specialist, like a test lead or something like that. You can provide a person like a full list, like
Yeah,
100 question, and let this person to decide. Yeah, ask this, ask that, like absolutely randomly.
yeah,
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 and that's gonna surprise you that for some topic you will need some time. Yeah. Also, if you are not a native English speaker, it's also a great opportunity, yeah, to train your English.
absolutely. Yeah, it's very important. And also, the next important thing we would like to mention and talk a little bit, it's regarding this general interview is very stressful. And for sure, you should try to do your best. And first of all, it's to be like relaxed and not try not too nervous.
Yeah, the world, believe us, the world will not end at the point you're failing your job interview. Yeah, you will have more possibilities to do it. Yeah, it's quite sad. We can understand it because market it's so competitive today. Still, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's just a drop to your experience cup. Yeah, so
Yeah,
just don't.
absolutely. Yeah, and one recommendation, if you scary this interview, try to imagine, try to think on why you scary. Uh, what will happen? Like Ludmila tell, nothing happen. Honestly saying, yeah, and don't think that other people will think you are so pure, so on. No, not. It's okay. We interview a lot of people, so we are not thinking that some are stupid, some are very clever. No, it's like it's a life. So this person shows and answers these questions, other not, and it's okay. So let's move on, and we don't like printing your picture and telling everyone, see, this person didn't answer any questions. So don't think about others and so on. And next recommendation, how to be more relaxed before interview, do some physical exercises. If you like, I don't know, going upstairs and downstairs, or some yoga exercises or so on, your favorite sport. Yeah, so it's
And
also,
don't take a lot of pills.
yeah,
That's
never don't pills at all. Yeah, it's not a good
it's
idea.
like it gives opposite effect. Yeah, you will
Mhm.
have some problems with formulating your thoughts and so on and so far. Actually, sometimes these pills are gonna happen after interview. So you just still nervous. Some processes in your brains go slower and slower and still. So avoid taking pills, just physical exercises. Maybe remember about the advice from a recruiter. Yeah, stand during the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, if gestures, you see, I like using my hands. Yeah, if gestures help you, do it. Maybe like not a lot of do not confuse the interviewer. Still try to accept this experience and don't be too nervous to fail it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more recommendation here is to breathe. There is special breathe exercises. And you can Google it easily. So it also can help by this with to be more relaxed. And let's go. Closer to the interviews before starting. So imagine you then you have an invitation. Now I think that the most popular way to be interviewed is online, but for sure you can be invited in the office of the company. So in this situation, just be on time or even in beforehand. Yeah, so to be prepared, to be it's better you will wait than you will be waiting and waited. So when we are talking about online interviews, check your camera, your microphone, so they should work, and it's better to be with the camera, and it's very important for now.
Yeah, it's like the photo in your CV and your resume. It's not like mandatory if we're talking about video, but it will it's needed when it's not like written directly that you should turn on your camera. Still, the candidates with the camera are like in preferable position, I suppose, because when being interviewed, you are also checked for your soft skills, and it's just
Yeah,
impossible to make a decision without seeing you, without being in contact with you. So I
yeah.
suppose it's like 100% good idea, yeah, to turn on your camera even if there is no such a strict requirement.
Yeah, and also on the other hand, it's better to be with your laptop or computer, not from mobile phone, because usually on during the interview you also need to do some practical tasks, and you should see a big screen, maybe with some screenshot of application and so on, and possibility to write down something. So it's also very important not to do it on a mobile
Yeah,
phone. Yeah.
imagine trying to look for bugs on your mobile phone. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty strange. So yeah, getting ready for online interviews requires some additional steps for checking
Yeah.
your facilities as well.
Yeah. Also, you can take your, I don't know how to say this, notes like paper, like a
Yeah,
pen,
sheets of paper.
yeah, sheet of paper, and you can use it during the interview. So it's okay when, for example, specifying the requirements or you need to remember something, you can write. It's okay, but don't spend a lot of time on this. So make a quick notes. And also, you can have, as usual, your drink. It can be water, non-alcoholic for sure, tea or coffee. It's also okay. So you can any time you can ask for some this rest for when you're thinking about something for 3 5 seconds. You can drink. You can write down something. It's okay. It's a real life. You don't need to sit like this and just
In
look here
white,
and
yeah, in white shirt, yeah. i
yes,
i
yes,
remember
yes.
one case from our practice, and I'd like to add it as a tip. Don't don't think that when your camera even is turned off, or maybe it's focusing on you, that the person who is interviewing you will not understand when you are cheating. Actually, when you've been asked, yeah, do you remember such cases? Yeah, when
Yeah,
you are
never
asked,
forgot.
when you are asked, and then the interviewer here, like you're clicking your keyboard, yeah, pressing the buttons, and then you are reading correct, absolutely answer. Or when you say something like, oh, let me just 1 minute to think, then your
Yeah,
eyes goes down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And some
even
noises
without,
like,
yeah, but even without noses, no, these noises, yeah. When 1 minute, please, and then like, okay,
uh-huh.
agile is a set of methodologies, and so clear. Yeah, this is like examples from a real practice. And don't think that if you
Unfortunately,
are
yeah.
not provided, yeah, if you are not provided direct feedback, like, okay, this answer was good, or this answer was bad, or oh, I see you are cheating. Do not expect such direct feedbacks during your interview. Yeah, Ludmila? This is
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you've got a huge experience in it,
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
tell that.
We will continue smiling, that's all. So, okay, but notice minus. Okay.
Yeah,
So you will
that's
never
that's
know
also
about our real uh, thoughts, about real uh, thing on this. Yeah.
conclusions, yeah,
Yeah.
about your
Yeah.
answers. So this is like
Mm-hmm.
one more
Mm-hmm.
moment, yeah. No cheating, remember about it. It's absolutely
Absolutely.
clear for people who are interviewing you. Also, just try to understand that you will not have at once clear understandable feedback. So if a person is smiling, like nodding his or her head, it doesn't mean that you are doing something absolutely right. Or
Yeah.
if a person is like doing something like that, is thinking about, that doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. Maybe you are doing so good that your interviewer is trying to find one more question, yet to
Yes.
catch you on.
Yeah. Or maybe you mentioned something that really impress, or this really like pain for the interviewer. For example, talking about, I don't know, localization, and interviewer spends several years on this project and hate localization testing. So it can think about their and for sorry their situation, not about your answer. So never like trying to see this reaction and playing with it. No, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
concentrate on questions,
Yeah,
concentrate on your thoughts, never like do a long pauses. Yeah, if you do not understand the question, you can ask to rephrase, to repeat,
absolutely.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't be
it's
afraid to
also,
do.
yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid of asking, reformulating, and so on. This maybe it's also for general like tip. Think about interview not about like exam, but about conversation. Yeah, for sure. Your goal is to show yourself, your knowledge and skills in a better way. But this like a conversation. This is not exam. Nobody will beat you or something like that. Will tell any some words, bad words about you. It's incorrect. So if interviewer during the interview tell some bad words about you, it's a bad company. We don't recommend
You've
to.
just read my thoughts. That
Really?
was, yeah. I just want to mention that if it's so bad, if they're so bad in their soft skills, processes, and so on, maybe it's not the company you should work for.
Yeah, absolutely. And you should always remember that you have some knowledge and skills. You take some time to learn them, and you also have some soft skills, and you have a desire to work. So interviews is like two parts process. For sure, you show yourself, you sell yourself. Yes, but also company also shows itself, and you should look at the interviewers and in the general conditions and so on. And also, if something doesn't suit you, it's okay to say no from your side. It's cool. Yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, take it into account. Maybe as a interviewer with a huge like experience, one more time you will provide us with like agenda, usual agenda of interviews, like technical ones, not the
Yeah.
general one.
Yeah, I would say that for sure, having this big experience in working in laboratory, so one part of my job, including these interviews. So together with Ludmila, we also conducted a lot of interviews, and for sure, like having a little more experience in this. I also qualified interviewer, yeah, certified interviewer. Yeah, so we are not talking, about some rules we're reading and some examples we're reading in the internet. No, we are now sharing with you our real experience and our real cases. Okay, and let's now talk about structure of the interview. So each interview should have, like ideal interview should have several blocks or several sections. But first of all, we need to tell you that each interviewer can make interview as he or she wants. So for sure, it's like we have some standards, but everyone can change it. So don't be afraid of it. Be agile. Uh, but maybe the first shouldn't be changed, and we always start with introduction. Good interviewer should introduce yourself, and if there is a group of interviewers, should everyone should be introduced. And for sure, the next what happened, they will ask you to introduce yourself. And here, be very straight, maybe not to spend a lot of time. So, providing like a summary, telling the most important things about you, maybe about your education, if your working experience, if you're not a student of the university, and regarding this working experience, uh, you can tell in general in what company or companies you work, telling about your job positions, but you should understand that it should be clear for everyone what exactly you should do. So if you're telling some specific professions, can't be clear. Yeah, so use like general understandable professions and so on. And
Without
also,
listing all your
yeah, yeah,
responsibilities. Yeah, such a long talk about yourself, believe it's useless and you will be stopped at one moment.
yeah, it's not good to starting with this interview with okay, it's clear, let's go on. No, so be very short, and this part absolutely should be repeated at home. You absolutely can be prepared for it, and it's bad. It's like a recommendation for public speaking as well. So first part of each this presentation of each speech should be um, memorized, and you see that you starting to say what you know, and this also can help you to be more relaxed. So it's important to prepare for this part, for this introduction,
Yeah,
and it's
remember that you
yeah,
will have never had the second chance to make the first impression.
yeah, absolutely,
So,
yeah,
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 just get ready. That's all that.
yeah.
And it's quite easy because that's definitely what you can expect. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy because this is about you. You should not like imagine anything. You should tell about yourself, but very briefly, like a summary of you. And then usually we start to ask some questions.
What about asking the questions, why testing?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
why have you chosen testing?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a very bad answer for this question, like a very bad advice, yeah, because testing is easy. I,
I want to be a developer, but now I okay, I start with testing.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, again, this is a real case when during the interview, yeah, the person can be asked, and the answer is, yeah, this is like my first step. I imagine being backend developer, yeah, but now, okay, I will do this. This is easier. This
Boring
is
job. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just keep in your mind that most probably the people you're talking to are experienced testers, and this
Who
is like
spent a lot of years to test some application, some product, and so on, and you tell them,
quite complicated applications, yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, we like advised you to be honest, but maybe if the idea for you the testing is so easy and so boring, maybe it's not like your job.
yeah, yeah.
So
So for sure, in a 1 or 3, 5 years, you can think about to be automation engineer, yeah, to be a developer. So it's okay. But maybe when you come into the interview on the position of functional tester, so it's not a good place to tell you about these plans.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this also like having this in between two phases, interviewer can ask this question: why you decided to go to this position, why you decided to be a tester. So you also can be prepared for these questions. Please think about them beforehand at home when you're reading the description of this position, when you're reading about this company and so on. You already written a cover letter, so you should know all this information. Yeah, and also think about why you decided to be a tester. It's really also can help you. Yeah, and this all from this part of questions,
yeah,
right? Mm-hmm.
yes,
They can ask you what courses you finished and so on. Also be prepared for this. So, create a CV. This can help you to refresh your all your uh, uh, classes you have already, all your works and certificates and so on. Okay, so the big and then the main part of each interview it's asking questions. It can be theoretical questions, practical tasks, technical questions. All together we can like combine in these three sections in a big one, and this is a dialogue. So interviewer will ask you and you should answer, you should clarify something, and here don't be afraid of asking and rephrasing, and also please don't ask as yes or no. That's all. Yeah, always add some details, explain your thoughts, your ideas. There are a big there is a big class of questions where the most important is your way of thinking, not the answer. And also usually we as in interviewers we would like to see how you explain this, your way of thoughts, but not just we don't need actually a correct answer usually, so we need your explanations as well.
yeah. Also, like to understand, are you a good? Do you have good analytic skills, logical skills? Yeah, some tasks are more about it yeah, than about just having some kind of number or having answered some kind of definition or term. Yeah, just talk with the interviewer, provide your ideas. And this especially about cases, yeah, when you are asked what would you do, and if you provide the answer like, okay, I'll go to, and just like 3 4 words, no, that's not gonna work. Provide as many as the ideas as you can. Yeah, explain why did you decide to do it first, why your second decision will be like that. Also, don't be afraid if of practical tasks. They are always, like, not always, yeah, but mostly they are part of interviews. Sometimes it can be like even separate interviews. I've heard about that, yeah, when one interview is devoted mostly on theoretical, knowledge, yeah, and the separate, separate stage, yeah, is interviewing and doing practical tasks online. So having this is like possibility to do it by yourself with your friends or with us, that's always a good way to get ready for this, like not to be confused, because maybe you are expecting that you will have only clear answers. So please tell us what is validation, what is verification, yeah. But most probably you will be asked to provide some examples, that you
Yeah,
will be asked, to explain your choice. For example, if you will, you can be like have the description of the feature. You will be asked what test technique can be applied here, and that's not going to be enough. Like to tell, okay, it's pairwise testing. That's a great feature that can be covered using pairwise testing. Yeah, the main idea is to
yeah,
explain why.
yeah, yes. And also here about this part, what we need to say that and today there was a question in our channel. By the way, you can join us in our Telegram channel. We have the same names everywhere in our Facebook group or even in our LinkedIn group. So join us. We have a lot of useful information. So regarding this, usually theoretical questions, yeah, ask maybe for very beginners. But even for juniors, as Ludmila already mentioned, the most important how you apply this theoretical knowledge, and more important your practical skills. So if you are middle, if you are senior, so you should provide more examples. You should show how you will apply this knowledge in the practice in your real life in the project, sorry. Yeah, so this is more important. So like a clear theory, it's not interesting. It's good interviewer will not ask you a definition what is a smoke testing, for example. For this, we have a test. For this, you can like pass ISUQB certification and so on. But actually, the most important how you will apply. So select for example, we have such feature. What test you will do in scope of testing, smoke testing. So this is the most important here.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
this is a quite discussed topic nowadays.
Mhm.
When some people are brilliant at passing the interviews and they are so poor workers,
Yeah.
so now when held in the interview, people are trying to to touch you from the working side. Yeah, are you able to apply this knowledge? Because just having knowledge of it doesn't mean that you will, like, I know all the test cases attributes. I can specify that a test case summary should be like unique, short, clear, precise, and so on and so far. Absolutely, that doesn't mean that I will create good test case. Yeah, believe our practice. It like while asking
It's our
people.
pain,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So most probably, okay, you know what test cases attributes are. Here is like the web form. So tell us, please, all the ideas for smoke testing, or maybe as many ideas as you can, if the web form is quite
Or create
simple.
test case, yeah, show how to can write it. Yeah, for sure, like a start for beginners, for juniors, for sure, interviewer can ask just list all test case attributes. So it's a good question, yeah, but it's like a start. We will never like stop to asking about just attributes, and it doesn't matter for us. You know it's a plus for sure. It's but this is a base for you to show next your knowledge and skills on the topic, on every topic. And returning to our general recommendation to explain everything, on the other hand, if you don't know answer at all, don't know, so don't like tell anything, any your thoughts. No, be honest and say, I don't know.
But I'm
Something
ready
like that.
to learn.
Yes,
Something
yes,
like that. Yeah.
something like this. Or maybe uh, not to spend time by telling everything you know on the topic, but not on this question, exact this question. But uh, every experienced interviewer hears this. Yes,
Yeah,
and
it's
also,
like
yeah,
more minus than if you will honestly say that I don't know, yeah.
absolutely.
But when you are trying to invent something, to bring something out of scope, yeah, it is hurt and it's a bad sign, because the interviewer here, okay, the task was like that, and you are doing absolutely different. I do not need an employee like that.
Yes, yes, yes. And what does it mean for for interviewer? You should think that you should remember that you are considered on some position. So, uh, interviewer, imagine how you will really work on the project. Maybe this interviewer even interview you to on his or her project, yeah, where he or she is a lead, test lead. So every interview while asking a question and asking to do some practical task uh, consider you as a part of his or her uh,
Team,
team.
yeah.
Yeah. So remember about this. So you not just showing your knowledge and skills, but you showing you as a worker on a project, as a tester on a
Yeah,
project.
actually, this idea that while interview you are showing your knowledge, soft, hard skills for a particular project, it comes to me one more idea. We've discussed it actually, that you should be
Hmm.
honest in your CV and resume. Yeah,
Yeah.
pay attention that you could not just write, I don't know, HTML and CSS. I'm good at it, yeah, and apply for a position where it's actually required. uh, Guys, you've been selected by your CV and you're going to be asked about all the skills that you've listed in your CV. So do not invent something. Do not put on something that you are not ready yet to answer the question. I just, again, from the practice, we've opened the CV. We have like in our mind the list of questions that we will ask you, yeah, and when it's like dev tools and I'm asking pretty simple questions, and a person is not able to answer, yeah, or something about databases, yeah, you're writing that you are like a perfect creator of SQL queries of any difficulty, yeah, you will be asked about it, so be ready.
Yeah, and also good point here. Thank you for remind about this CV or resume is better to say. Yeah. Okay, we will learn this. So, if you if you were invited to the interview, so it's a good. Because you were considered to the position because of your provided resume. So you just need to confirm that you read in the resume. That's all. Simple.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
be ready to be asked about everything you've mentioned.
Yeah.
If you're
And
not
also,
sure in
yeah.
something, it's better to skip it. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you are not going to pass the interview if like API testing is required and you have no idea what is it about. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just don't waste your time. Don't you will have huge stress trying to answer the questions you have no idea about. So just skip this idea.
Yes, yes. And also add in some philosophy. I like this. And returning to the beginning of our event, and where we provided you with several general tips, and we talked about to be stressed and how to work with this. And also you should always thinking about that this is really you're considering on some special position. So again, when you fail this interview, this is not about you personally, this is not about your hard and soft skills, but you just don't match to this position. That's all.
Yeah, and there will be the position you match. Maybe don't think that we've like provide you a lot of tips that it doesn't matter or something like that. No, guys, you should focus. You should get ready. You should prepare. You should spend a lot of time studying. But just during the interview, it's not time like to be too nervous. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's better to be nervous before the interview, yeah, to read like more sources, to do more practical tasks, to try your hand on passing the interview. While
Don't spend
interview,
time
it's too
on be
late.
nervous. Spend time on reading books and articles.
Yeah. So just do as many practical tasks, do as many like pass as many like training interviews as you can. Don't be afraid to fail is just an experience. Again, you will know
Yeah.
that you are not ready, at least that you are not ready to apply for a position. Yeah. Go to one, two,
You
three,
see
do.
your weak sides, that's all. So you see your points to improve. Think about this. Yeah, and it's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, and be ready for technical questions, because I mean just technical questions about hard skills devoted to different tools and so on, because testing is not like an easy way today. Yeah, maybe it's like in comparison with the time required to learn these tools or to learn the theory, it can be like easier, but the competition on the market to enter these easy positions are so huge that sometimes, yeah, it's just in my mind sometimes the idea that being a developer now is easier, yeah, than to
Yeah,
apply for QA actually, because yeah, you will
absolutely.
spend like
Yeah.
a lot of time. Still, I remember like my friends always says that well prepared uh, testers who are ready for challenge are always required on the market. It doesn't matter like how many positions are there or how many interviews will it take. Yeah, like uh, clever, devoted people will always find the work. Yeah, so just try harder.
Yeah. Yeah, think about this is your way, and Ludmila, I like your words about this is your experience. So maybe someone are happy to pass just one interview and to be hired. Okay, but maybe your way of passing several interviews make you stronger, because in IT usually, for example, in our company, even switching project to project, going from one project to another, we usually have an interview. So this is not this will not your last interview just going starting your career, that's all. No, it's like the first from a million interview during your working life.
career, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe the first one is the toughest one, but with experience, you like feel more confident in yourself. You feel more confident in doing tasks because actually you've got. Also, like it doesn't work very well today. Again, due to the a great number of applicants, but proceed according to the.
Ludmila, can you please repeat? It would not work now. Why? Because of big amount of candidates.
If you haven't passed the interview successfully, yeah, ask for the feedback. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you won't get a feedback, but still try to gather the feedbacks.
Usually, good companies always provide the feedback. Yeah, definitely should be. So it's also like a sign if you have no feedback, or maybe this is a bad company. That's all. Yeah, so this is a big part regarding questions. So here one more time, you can't be prepared for every question. It's impossible. There are million of questions, and every interviewer can imagine their own. So you never know what question you will be asked. But we have prepared for you some topics. Yeah, some common questions. You can find them in our Telegram chat, in our channels, and so on, in our group. But it's impossible. You can't learn just questions and answers as we have usually on our exams. So you need,
Unfortunately.
yeah, to be confident, to learn some information and to start go to the interviews. No way to have another. Yeah, and also when we are talking here, we mostly talk about, like, straight questions regarding theory, some practical tasks, some technical questions. But here we can add also a special group of questions. We call them situation question, where you can ask. Well, where you will be provided with some situation what can happen in a real project, and you need to explain what you will do in this situation. For example, you find a bug, but developer says this is not a bug, it's a feature, what you will do. Or it's evening and nobody in the office and you are alone, and you find the bug on production or before production, before release, what your actions, and so on and so forth. Here also be relaxed, and here provide as many as possible how
Ideas,
you
yeah.
ideas, ways how you resolve the situation. And sometimes it's the most important here, maybe even not to have your real, for sure, for you should start with some real examples what you're going to do, some steps, but after finishing these steps, you can even imagine something unreal situation. I don't know.
Yeah, if you keep
Switch
asking,
on your imagination.
no, like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't
Next,
work.
next.
You
What
have,
next?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you haven't got such a possibility. Yeah, suggest more ideas. So in this case, yeah, it's high time to be creative.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's
And in this situation, there is no correct answer at all. For sure, some interviewers can like have some ideas in their minds, but good interviewer will not affect your answers. Yes, so you can say what you say. This is the most important again to see your way of your thinking, and. To see maybe here's a part of this stress interview and go on, next, no, this is impossible, next uh, situation, that's what you're going to
yeah,
do.
and
Yeah,
again, I've got just idea that you cannot get ready like in advance to that. You should just
yeah,
try. Yeah, and
yeah, yeah,
to
absolutely.
understand, because I remember one of my not a friend, yeah, but a person who I was study with, and she went to the interview, and during the interview, she has like more logical tasks about like dividing cakes, counting ants and other insects and something like that,
Oh
then
my God.
on the testing theory. And actually it was one of the interview after which she had an offer. So she had like three offers from different interviews. So you want like be ready for everything, so just try in.
Yeah, and yeah, and don't to expect this ideal structure. Yeah, maybe the goal of interviewer is to make a mess here and to make you like being more stressful. But you should always be relaxed, and this really help you. So don't nervous and like taking what's going on right now into consideration and answer those questions and so on. So there is nothing except you and interviewer or group of interviewer. And in this second, you have this question. Next second, maybe next question. Okay, answer this. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you have any questions from your side. uh
Yeah. We are
yeah,
ready
we
to answer.
will
And
answer
at the
them if
end
you.
of the interview, yeah, after this part where interviewer ask question, usually at the end of each interview, you can ask about some working conditions. Maybe you have like some special cases, maybe you, about working hours, working at the office, and so on and so forth. So here also be prepared and think what is suits you, what doesn't. It's also important. And also usually at the end of the interview, interviewers can ask you, do you have any questions? So also if you have any questions regarding a company, a position, what you need to do, where is the office, what is the working hours, can you work at home, from home or not, and so on and so forth. Also you can prepare this list of questions and ask them. Don't be scared. It's okay not to have any questions. It's okay for me, for example, personally. But most of the interviewers expect you have a question to them. So it's also like showing your interest to the position. So all have two, maybe three, five questions about the position, about the project, your responsibilities, maybe, and so on. Yeah, it's good way to show this part of you,
Involvement,
this
yeah, to show
side.
your
Yeah,
involvement into this, mm, like
yeah.
your
Into
potential
this
place of
job.
work. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, and we're taking talking about relaxing for sure, but this on one hand, but on the other hand, you always like to be like structured, to be uh, to hand to take yourself. How Ludmila help me in this? Uh, you never be like sitting like here and okay, what next
Yeah, yeah.
question?
In your, again, yeah, in your gestures, in your reactions, don't be like too emotional and still being like
Hmm.
arrogant, being so like too self-confident can also be a red flag
Yeah,
for the interviewer, because sometimes just looking at the candidate, you understand that you do not want to work with this person.
yeah, yes. And also don't be relaxed till the last minute of the interview when interviewers say bye, switch on camera, you like leave the meeting or something like that. Then you can do anything you want, but to till the last minute. Maybe you have, okay, do you have any questions? And you relaxed and tell some not good phrases and so on. And interviewer, oh my god, I have a question. Just a second. What about I don't know, SQL queries?
Yeah, it works
Yeah.
sometimes.
So, any questions? And yeah, if you will watch this video in some period of time after our this event, write questions in the comments, and we definitely answer them.
Yeah, also, if you want, recheck like the information about interviews in our channel, maybe it's like in more structured way. Yeah, again, if you're watching us from YouTube, that's going to be very helpful for you, and maybe it makes you like more self-confident to fill in interview registration form. Yeah, to pass the training interview.
Yeah. So in general, don't be scared. Remember that interview it's like 1 hour of your big life with more challenges than just going and answer some questions. So don't nervous, and we wish you good luck on your interviews.
I wish you good luck. Yeah,
Bye.
so see you. Bye.